My boyfriend ruined my birthday again. Should I break up with him? Bestie, again? Okay, so the title of this is Am I Overreacting for Wanting to Leave My Boyfriend After He Ruined My Birthday Again?
Trash, filth, trash, garbage, dumpster, trash.
My boyfriend has ruined my birthday 2 years in a row, and I honestly don't know if I'm overreacting for thinking about leaving or if I'm acting selfish.
Probably not.
Last year, we got into a big fight on my birthday. It ended with him telling me I was selfish for wanting the day to be about me.
Well, it is your birthday.
That I couldn't stand it when attention wasn't on me, and that it was my fault my birthday was ruined. I had only told him he was starting to act a little too drunk and was embarrassing himself, but the situation escalated quickly. We were both drinking, so I apologized, tried to move past it, and chalked the whole thing up to alcohol. No, because absolutely not. You're selfish for wanting your birthday to be about you? How does that make any sense? Of course it's about you. This screams to me that he actually can't stand when it's not about him. I genuinely think that's the bare minimum. Making your partner's birthday about them and not you? Yeah. And not having a problem with that either. That's a big one. This year, I planned something that I thought we'd both enjoy. I'm gonna go right ahead and I'm sorry, you planned something? I booked a 3-story arcade with go-karts, axe throwing, an indoor adventure park, and mini golf. I stayed away from bars or clubs because he often says he's not a fun guy or a party person when I suggest he go to those places with me, and I didn't want him to feel out of place. Okay, considerate of you. But again, this is also your birthday, and like, if you want to go dancing on your birthday, I feel like that's, unless he has like, an issue, like a substance abuse issue, I don't really see why we can't enjoy those things on our birthday because of our partner. But anyway, red flag. I wanted it to be something lighthearted and enjoyable for both of us. He had been in a great mood all day, even bought himself something earlier that day for an early Black Friday deal. He bought himself something? Didn't buy you anything. The second I finished getting ready, everything changed. He barely said anything, mumbled, "You look nice," and his mood shifted. At the arcade, he barely talked or participated, and I kept trying to keep things fun, but he wasn't into it. He sounds like a child. I don't care if you're not into it. Like, if this is what your girlfriend wants to do for her birthday, you better act into it.
Grow up.
While we were waiting for the go-karts, he told me he didn't want to ruin my day, but he wasn't having fun. He wasn't enjoying himself, and he was hungry. That doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but it's not your day. This is about somebody else. When you're in a relationship, you might have to sometimes do things that you don't want to do. See people that you don't really want to see. Go to events you might not really want to go to. But you go because it's supportive of your partner. The fact that he's not even willing to do this on your birthday is like major. It's giving narcissist. I'm sorry. I'm not going to diagnose. I'm not a therapist. I have had lots of therapy. Not a narcissist. And not a therapist. Like, this is a narcissistic trait. He also said that other places we went to were better than this. I started feeling anxious and told him I didn't know what to do, which he pointed out wasn't his fault if I felt like that. I don't understand why it's up to you to fix anything. We ended up leaving early. I offered to go to another place that had food and looked like it could be a mix of what we both liked, but he said if we went there, he wouldn't talk because it wasn't somewhere he would enjoy. Buddy. It's like comical at this point. So we just went home. He didn't even end up getting the food he said he wanted so badly. Yeah, because it was an excuse. He was just looking for an excuse to complain. When we got home, things escalated in the worst way. I asked again why he hadn't enjoyed himself. He said, "I'm not a fun person. I'm not a party person like you," as if I had taken him to a club instead of an arcade. That really hurt because I had planned this night specifically so he wouldn't say that. It's not about being a fun person. He's saying this because the day isn't about him. Like, I can already see that you are used to catering things to him and apologizing for when he hurts you.
Stop it.
It's not about not being a fun person. It's about not being able to celebrate other people. This man hates you. Like, I'm just saying this right now. And it's so unbelievably common. You really find out who your partner is on your birthday. And on Christmas, too. I wanted something low-key that we could both enjoy. I told him it didn't make sense, and that's when he said the real reason was that he wasn't happy with his life. He was sad and couldn't fake it at the arcade. Okay, so playing the victim. Interesting that he's choosing this day of all days to bring that up. So it becomes about him. I know it might sound selfish, but it felt like I was being punished for trying.
That's exactly what he wants.
No matter what I did to make things enjoyable for both of us, he just wouldn't be happy. He couldn't even try to act happy for one night for my sake. And what makes it more confusing is that he's been in such a good mood all day before this happened. That's exactly it. He was in a good mood. So it's not like he's just like he had a bad day or he's having a bad week or what. He was in a good mood. I do understand depression. I've dealt with it for myself for a long time. And I know how overwhelming it can feel. But in that moment, it felt like he was using it to shift the focus away from how the night actually went. Correct. You are right. Every explanation he gave somehow turned the situation back onto me. It's gaslighting. It's manipulative. I told him that I understood what he was going through and that his feelings were valid, but I was still hurt by how he acted throughout the night because he didn't show up when I needed him to. This is the thing, right? Like, you're going through things, you have mental health problems, like, your feelings are valid. The things that you're going through are valid. I'm not trying to like minimize the possibility of him actually being depressed. It is interesting that it's only coming up when it's a day that's not about him.
It's all about you. It's all about me.
I find that like if you're in a bad spot, like mentally, I find that getting yourself out of that bad spot, it really actually helps to think about something other than yourself. It really helps to like go out and do like charity work or like try to help somebody, you know, put that love somewhere constructive instead of just brooding and thinking about why things aren't going right for you. But he didn't do that. I said I needed to go downstairs for some space and that we could talk about his feelings the next day when things had calmed down. Instead of just letting me go downstairs, he followed me downstairs and started yelling. He said I was acting spoiled. I was acting like a 15-year-old child that was making everything about me.
Are we still talking about me or are we talking about you now?
And that's ironic because he literally sounds like a child that can't let, you know, that blows out the candles on someone else's birthday cake. That's literally what he's acting like.
Boom. A child.
That most people don't even get to celebrate birthdays and that he stormed out of the house and drove off.
Huh? What?
Most people don't get to celebrate birthdays. Okay. He's switching tactics here, trying to make you feel guilty. I hate it. I hate it so much. I want to emphasize he isn't an awful guy.
I'm not so sure about that.
He did try to make it up to me a couple of days later with dinner and gifts, but I can't shake how everything played out. Okay, hold on a second. This is like classic manipulation, right? They push you away, they gaslight you, they make you feel like, and then they reel you back in. On the day that it mattered most, he ruined it. People don't understand why people like stay with narcissists or people with narcissistic tendencies. It's because of the flip-flopping. It's because one minute they are so unbelievably charming and wonderful, and then the next minute they're not. They're like literally the worst. I can't shake how everything played out. I know his feelings are important and valid too, but I just wanted one day to feel special without being made to feel selfish. I work 2 jobs while I'm in college, and my birthday is one of the only days all year when I can dress up, feel pretty, and actually enjoy myself. Now, I don't even want to celebrate my birthday anymore with any family or friends.
That's what he wants!
Oh, you celebrate that birthday, babes. And I feel bad that I don't really care about the gifts he got me. I honestly don't think I've ever been this confused about a relationship before, and I really need help understanding what's going on. You're confused because you're in a relationship with someone who's very manipulative. There should never be confusion about whether somebody cares about you or not. Am I overreacting or an a-hole for thinking about leaving him? Was I acting selfish? I'm open to honest criticism. No, I absolutely think that this is a window into what your future relationship will be like. And it's actually very, very common. Unfortunately. It says you've had 2 birthdays with this person, so it's been a couple of years. It's one thing if it was just one birthday and it was, you know, you guys are drunk or whatever and like he was acting like a fool once, but this is 2 years in a row. I don't love that. I had a partner who found a way to ruin every special occasion. He wasn't battling depression, and the next partner who's battling depression did not ruin my special days. This is the thing about people that weaponize mental health. I know someone like this. They do have the tendency to ruin every special occasion, and not just special occasions about like you, about somebody else. Like sometimes they even ruin special occasions for them too, when you've put in a lot of effort to like celebrate them, and they make you feel for the effort that you put in. It's not the depression. This guy doesn't really like you. I hate to say it. It's him that can't stand not being the center of attention on other people's special days. Not overreacting. I married a man like this. Every occasion was a letdown because of his attitude. Eventually, we didn't celebrate almost anything because he did stuff your boyfriend did. Get out. He will ruin everything and make you feel like it's on you. Obviously, when I said that this is common, like there's a lot of people in the comments that are saying like, I literally married someone like this. My ex would hype me up the night before my birthday and ruin it at the crack of dawn, then try to make it up. Then would be mad because I wasn't fawning over his lame attempts to make it up. My husband, who has battled depression his whole life, has never ruined a single good achievement, birthday, milestone in my life. My ex went on to do the same to his new wife. And by the way, OP, you are worthy of being celebrated. Period. Clock it. To add, my ex is diagnosed with BPD and bipolar. OP edited and said, wow, I wasn't expecting this much engagement on my post, and I really appreciate everyone who took the time to comment. Reading all of your perspectives has been overwhelming, but also very eye-opening. I genuinely hoped I was just being selfish or misreading the situation, but hearing so many consistent experiences and warnings have given me a lot to think about. We do live together, so it makes everything more complicated, but leaving is something I know I need to do. Thank God. And I'm going to take the steps I need in order to protect my peace. Thank you to everyone who shared advice, experiences, and support. It truly means more than you know. So we do have an update. Update for those who are asking. I haven't told him I'm leaving yet because I need to make arrangements, get my things out, and find a new place to stay. I also don't want him to react badly or try to pressure me into staying. I want to make sure I'm in a stable and safe position to leave before saying anything. Everything is still really new and I'm taking things one step at a time. I'm celebrating my birthday with my friends this weekend. Yes! We are going out for karaoke and he's not invited. He doesn't get another opportunity to ruin this for me. Careful though, because honestly, I would turn your phone off. I wouldn't tell him where you're going either. OP also said he wouldn't want to come even if he was invited. Unfortunately, as it's not something he'd be interested in. He's also not the type to show up, but he is the type to start a fight. Yeah, this is why I'm saying, don't tell him where you're going, turn your phone off, stay at a friend's house. So I'm getting ready at a friend's place and staying the night there you go, to prevent that from happening and to make sure he doesn't get the chance. Well done, bestie. You handled this beautifully, and I'm glad to hear all of this. You deserve to celebrate. You deserve to be celebrated with people that care about you. It isn't too much to ask. Okay, I kind of want to lighten the mood a little bit. You guys want to lighten the mood? I do. Am I the a-hole? My boyfriend places sheets on all the furniture when I'm on my period.
Oh, hell no!
Ay, ay, ay. So, my 24 female boyfriend, 28 male, oh, he's 28. Sorrows, prayers, is really protective over his furniture. I assume it's because they're white. This really shows when I'm on my period. My boyfriend does humiliating things like placing sheets on all the chairs and lounges. I feel like if I were to leak, I'd just leak through the sheets anyway. And makes me sleep in the guest bedroom on the first 2 days of my period, my heaviest days. And then he even asked me about when was the last time I changed my tampon. Oh, be for real right now. I'm a grown woman who's had her period since the age of 12. I don't need somebody to remind me to change a tampon. This is such a turnoff for me. When guys are like grossed out by something like that, it's giving... Let me think of a word I could actually say on YouTube. It's giving prissy. Men used to go to war. They used to go to war. And now they're worried about a little secretion. Be for real right now. No, please no, because this is so embarrassing. It's not only the fact that he seems to be off-put. He finds your period off-putting. It's also the fact that this is very embarrassing. Like, this is making you feel gross. He might as well put a diaper on you, girl. What the hell? When he does this, I just feel embarrassed, and it gives me the vibe that he cares more about materialistic objects than me. I'm not even allowed to cuddle him during my period. Oh my God.
Really?
I started my period yesterday, and as expected, the sheets come out. I decided to put my foot down and I take off all the sheets off the furniture, which got my boyfriend irritated, to which I told him he needs to stop treating me like a leaking juice box. He says I have no right to prevent him from keeping his expensive furniture clean, that I'm the one acting like a jerk. I need to know, am I the a-hole? No.
Seriously, have some self-respect.
Oh, be for real right now. This is so ridiculous. Men used to go to war. Maybe he's got like some sort of weird phobia about it or something. I don't know, because this is excessive. Leaking happens. It's okay. There's ways around it. Important to note, little mishaps can be fixed with hydrogen peroxide. Just pour a little hydrogen peroxide on it. It's like it never happened. Honestly, throw the whole man away. Nobody wants to be made to feel like they're yucky. It's really not a big deal. Imagine how we feel. We go through it every month. Imagine the underwear that we have to throw away. You don't even need to. Like, honestly, it's fine. I fail to understand what the big deal is. Imagine how he'll feel when you're pregnant. Super weird. Not the a-hole, just out of curiosity. Does he have any redeeming qualities besides owning furniture he cares about? Yeah, I mean, you were pretty vague in what you shared. OP said, honestly, he's a great guy when I'm not on my period. This is a big no-no for me, like massive. This is actually quite disturbing behavior. He's treating OP like a dog in heat. It makes me wonder about his personality and views toward women in general. I do think that this is evidence of like a wider opinion. The women are like gross or something. It goes with like a lack of like education too. Like there's not a lot of education surrounding like women's health and stuff like that in school. At first, we're kind of taught to be like embarrassed about it, right? I remember fully being made fun of when I was on my period and stuff, if mishaps happened or whatever. But like this late in life, you guys aren't in middle school anymore. You didn't just get it. I feel like this is evidence of like a wider opinion that he has. I don't think this is about furniture. This is a man deeply uneasy about menstruation and the female body functions. He's not truly comfortable relating with women and attempts to control and set barriers around them. I suggest you get away from this man whose head is in the dark ages of time, because you will begin to notice over time it's not just your menstruating body that sets him off. It's like an irrational sort of like lack of education. Like maybe it's like an OCD thing. I don't know. It's weird.
Is it weird? Absolutely.
I literally have like an app on my phone. It's like the Flow app or whatever. I linked Mike to it so he knows exactly when my cycle like starts. Oh, I actually need to like update it because it just ended. Oh, I'm in my follicular phase. I might be feeling more productive than usual. So he gets little notifications. It's like,
ooh, it's her first day. She might be feeling tired, a little emotional. Let's plan like a cutesy little date night.
It literally gives you prompts for like compliments that you can give your girlfriend to make her feel better on days like that. Yeah, I mean, this is silly. You're not the a-hole. I would really be questioning this person in this relationship because nobody wants to be made to feel like their normal bodily functions are gross. I wouldn't want to be made to feel like that. I want to feel like totally comfortable in my relationship. Like I can totally be myself. You just don't need that. Plenty of men out there that don't give a crap. In fact, sometimes they love it. My boyfriend of 3 years doesn't know my name. Am I overreacting? All right, let's get into it. As the title states, my 35 female, boyfriend, 42 male of 3 years didn't know my middle name or the spelling of my last name until today. How does that even happen? It can't possibly be that he never came into contact with your last name or your middle name until 3 years into the relationship. He just didn't care enough to learn it.
That's the bare minimum.
For more context, we met 10 years ago when I still had my maiden name. I got divorced 4 years ago and have kept my married name since. I'm updating my blankety blank information. Please send me your current address and email. Thanks. She sends it. It's redacted. Full name, please, babe. She sends the full name. You don't know my name? Babe, I didn't know your middle name or the spelling of your last name, but who would? Oh. If you have like a name that's kind of difficult to spell, maybe I could understand. But it's been 3 years and he didn't. I would even be embarrassed to ask. Like, I would literally go and try to find their passport. The fact that he asked, dude. I don't love this for you, babe. I don't understand how it wouldn't have come up before 3 years. Is it a complicated last name? Not knowing your middle name is less offensive, but last name is wild. OP said, not common, but not complicated. I think it's pretty easy to spell phonetically. We also pretty frequently message on Messenger where my first and last name is visible. Oh, stop it. Oh my God, actually stop right now. So, it's already a red flag that he didn't know, but the fact that he asked when it's entirely possible for him to find that information, how are you not embarrassed? I don't understand how he wouldn't care enough to learn it after 3 years. I'm an embryologist, and when we have to accession in males samples for insemination, they must fill out their partner's full name and date of birth. You would be shocked at how many of them spell their partner's names wrong or don't know their birthday. Oh dear. The bar is in hell. Isn't that like personally embarrassing that you don't know your partner's last name or date of birth? You don't know what her birthday is?
And I'm still a piece of garbage.
At that point, ladies, like, it's also kind of our fault. Like, what do you mean he doesn't know when your birthday is? Another interesting red flag. When she said, you don't know my name, babe, I don't know your middle name or the spelling of your last name, but who would? I would say people who have known her for longer than a few months should know that. This is a pretty insane excuse for his clear lack of care. He's kind of like placing the blame on her. He's like alluding to the fact that her name is too difficult to remember or something. You're long-term partners, you're both full-grown adults. He's in his 40s. This reads like a conversation between kids in middle or high school who just asked each other out at school. Not overreacting, this makes him look like a total dick. Yes, he's absolutely downplaying it and saying like,
who would understand what your name is? Like, who would know that? It's too difficult.
No. Knowing your name is the bare minimum. It really is the bare minimum. And he's not even doing that. He doesn't care enough to know it and has the audacity to ask you. So I would say no, you're not overreacting. It's a problem. Am I the a-hole for giving my stay-at-home mom wife a written performance review with suggested areas needing improvement?
Are you trying to get yourself killed?
Here we go. I, 33 male, share one child, 6 female, with my wife, 36 female. She has another daughter, 13 female, that lives with us full time. We also have custody of our niece, 15 female. The teens are each other's best friends. They share a large bedroom, which was done at their request. Their dynamic here is pretty much mom and youngest against the teens, with me being the referee between everyone. Okay, interesting. My wife has taught the youngest she can blame others for her actions to avoid consequences. She just says the word, one of the teens will get punished without question. I don't love that. There's no doubt she's my wife's favorite. I love her, but she's becoming nothing more than an entitled brat. As just a mere example, my wife and I had an appointment we both needed to attend. When we came back, it was apparent the pool had been used. They're not allowed to swim while we aren't home. Yeah, that's dangerous. As the youngest divulged, Mommy, I was in my room coloring. I never went swimming. The teen said that was not true. She had gone swimming as well. Only the teens were punished. My wife refused to give the youngest any type of consequence. I later found her wet swimming suit hidden in the garage. My wife and I argued. I felt strongly she needed to not only be punished for swimming, but also for lying. After a relentless disagreement, I was silenced as she gave the youngest a very minimal consequence. It's interesting that your wife is teaching her how to avoid consequences. Very interesting.
Like mother, like daughter.
The lying, blaming, and favoritism ultimately caused the teens to act out understandably. Most of their consequences are done by giving more chores, specifically the chores that the 6-year-old has. Or, as recent, they were removed from music lessons as a consequence. Yeah, it really doesn't surprise me that your wife, her older daughters and niece are at odds, because this sounds like very unfair. I believe they are so frustrated they don't even care when they verbally attack their mother after her unfair treatment toward them. After all, they already get blamed and punished for things they don't even do. From my perspective, lashing out gives them a release. We've had countless tiring arguments. She'd either not see her faults or we'd agree to do this and that, but it's never actually done. It's really interesting that she is instilling these values in her youngest daughter because I feel like she also has those values. Blame everybody else, don't accept consequences. I decided to write her a performance review as a stay-at-home mom. Okay.
Not the brightest of ideas.
I gotta let you know, like, I was like a little bit triggered by by the title of this and the performance review thing. I understand you've had arguments about this and maybe this is sort of your last resort. I just don't love the performance review thing. Her areas in need of improvement, well, it was a lot. But I touched on how she needs to listen better, stop being biased, be fair in all her decisions, stop making rash decisions without taking all 3 kids into consideration. I recommended her to give each child the same amount of one-on-one time alone to speak, or just be with one another. Okay, so I'm gonna actually tell you guys something that I feel like your heart was in the right place with the performance review thing. I just think that you could have went about it a different way. Both me and my husband are in therapy. He was given this sort of couples sharing exercise thing by his therapist. And it's proved to be, as long as both people are really, really like devoted to it, you can't have one person in the couple interested in doing it and the other one not caring. Both of you have to do this on like a weekly basis to like check in. So it's called FANOS. It's couples sharing exercise, and it's an acronym. So F is for feelings.
U is for you and me.
F is for feelings, where you share with your partner a feeling you have. You may use a list of feelings if it could help you identify feelings. A is for affirmations. Affirm your partner for something she has done. So affirming means telling them something they did right. So it's not just criticism here. Needs. State a need you have today, not necessarily one that must be met by your partner. Ownership. Take responsibility and apologize for something that you have said or done.
I'm sorry. What are you?
It's not just about placing the blame on the other person. It's about having open communication and recognizing that both people could be better. Struggles. Here you have an opportunity to tell your partner the status of any struggles that you're having. It could be about the relationship or just in general. Mike and I have used this, and listen, Mike and I's relationship isn't perfect. We fight like every couple, and we actually haven't needed to do this since. This was like an eye-opening, wonderful exercise that really helped us be intimate and to really hear each other out and not just like place blame. Because I think that in fights, couples have the tendency to place blame. The affirming is super important, and taking ownership is also super important. So hearing your partner say that you are doing some things right, and also taking ownership, like hearing that they are taking ownership for things that they could have done better. So that's super important when giving your partner feedback. Super great exercise. I feel like if we had changed the whole performance review thing to the couples sharing exercise, where it wasn't just like, this is what you need to do better. I understand she's up. Like, I understand she's not handling things in the best way, but I feel like this could have been a better way to approach it. So it wouldn't be entirely a slap to her face. I gave her accolades on her strong points for other areas aside from parenting. I felt this would work best.
That is not correct.
Because I could organize my thoughts on paper without interjecting. However, it quickly backfired in my face. She was quiet for the first hour I handed it to her. Then she completely exploded on me. Said if we were going to do this type of stuff, she'll get a private bank account and take half my paycheck every week. Oh. She further said the review was a manipulative, sexist move. Am I the a-hole?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so something important to note here. I know that this is like someone who has a history of like maybe not taking responsibility for things, but I do think it's important for not just this to be like something where you give her. It's a sharing exercise, and saying it out loud is also super helpful. Another important thing to do with this exercise is to speak, and the partner literally just listens for their turn. It's not one-sided. Both couples have to participate. If you do this exercise in the way that you're supposed to do it once a week, especially when things are bad, make sure you keep it up. As long as both couples are receptive, like I do feel like it would really, really help. But if they're not receptive and they just take it as you kind of attacking them, it's no bueno.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
Everyone sucks here. The concerns you have are legitimate and it needs an urgent solution, but the way you went about it is really unhealthy. The parenting of your children is not a project. You're not her boss. You are her husband and the father of her kid. See, this is why the performance review thing is like, this is something that you would do like at work for an employee. She's not an employee, she's a partner. Giving her a performance review comes across as condescending and, as she said, manipulative. Yeah, I would agree with this comment. It's one-sided. I would feel defensive too. I'm curious to know how it would be if you tried this specific exercise instead of just like placing blame, letting her also have a turn. I don't know. I'm leaning toward you're the a-hole. I'm wondering if we're getting an unbiased version of events about the parenting issues. For example, the pool thing. Why would you hold the 6-year-old equally responsible to their teenage siblings? Why does it matter what the 6-year-old claimed? If the 6-year-old went swimming alone, the teenage babysitters should be punished for allowing it. That's actually a very good point. The 6-year-old does know, they might be old enough to know, but the older teenagers are a little bit more responsible. She shouldn't have zero punishment, but I do think that the people that are babysitting, the kids that are babysitting and older, do know better, do have a little bit more responsibility with regards to the swimming thing. If they all went swimming, the 6-year-old was just following the example of their much older siblings. Maybe OP's wife isn't believing everything the 6-year-old said, so much as reasonably treating the other children differently based on their ages. Edit, I'm not saying you can't punish the kid for lying, but when it comes to pool safety, it makes sense to be quite harsh with the teenagers who allowed a child in the pool without adult supervision, versus giving the kid a standard lying is bad punishment. Some of y'all are saying the 6-year-old might have egged on the teenagers, which is just a ridiculous thought to me. A poorly supervised 6-year-old is going to try and do all sorts of dumb and dangerous stuff. Punishing them severely isn't going to fix the issue. They need proper supervision. If the teenagers aren't responsible enough to keep the 6-year-old in check, then OP's the a-hole for leaving them in a dangerous situation. Also, what do y'all want? For the kid to be punished for lying before her parents knew she lied. The older kids were punished initially because someone went swimming and they were in charge. The younger was punished for lying after it was proved that she lied. I think OP's the a-hole for having a problem with that. Okay, interesting perspective. I think that the issue is that the 6-year-old had no punishment whatsoever. It is the older kid's responsibility more, but I think the 6-year-old also does know that that's not something that she should be doing. And it's also for her own safety, right? It is that deep. Like, it's pretty serious. Are you her employer? Because employers give performance reviews. Partners do not give performance reviews. Your family, including yourself, needs therapy, a lot of therapy, a lot of therapy. You're the a-hole. I think I agree that this could be an everyone sucks here, because I don't think that the wife and the mother are handling things well. I don't love the performance review. Like, that is like, don't love that. I think OP's heart was in the right place. I think it could have been handled better. Everyone sucks here. She should be listening better, but seriously, a performance review, what kind of reaction did you expect? You're treating her like a temp worker, not your partner. That was unbelievably condescending. You seem to have a you versus me mentality instead of an us versus the problem. Y'all need to find a way to communicate better in a non-adversarial way. Time to get into couples counseling and talk about this like adults. Yes. I think I agree with everyone in the comments. I think it is an everyone sucks here. Yeah. Moving on. Am I overreacting for leaving when my boyfriend told my daughter, "You have an ugly face"? My boyfriend, 39 male, and I, 32 female, took my 2 young kids on a long weekend getaway after the Thanksgiving holiday. We've been together almost 3 years, but we've recently only started to incorporate my kids more in our life together in a meaningful way. When buckling my preschool-aged daughter into her car seat throughout the weekend, he would tell her, "Suck in your fat belly." Now my daughter is saying she has a fat belly, which I'm not happy about. More importantly, Sunday morning, at the end of our stay, my boyfriend leaned over and said something near my daughter's face, to which she replied,
"Ew, something stinks,"
and covered her nose. I giggled and told my boyfriend, "I think she's saying you have morning breath." He looked back at her and said, "Well,
you have an ugly face, and that's why you need to wear makeup."
Oh my God. Are we being for real right now? Preschool age daughter. We're calling the preschooler fat and ugly, and that they need to wear makeup. I don't, quite frankly, care what she said. That's nuts. I was shocked and very upset. I calmly packed up our things and told him the kids and I would grab breakfast on the drive home instead of staying and having breakfast with him. I didn't yell, cuss, or argue, or throw things around while packing. He is angry I left without the 2 of us having a conversation. Whereas I feel we couldn't have a productive grown-up conversation with my kids in the same hotel room, as upset as I was. It's interesting that he's not apologizing for what he said. Instead, he's more upset with you not wanting to talk to him. While he did put in a lot of effort into the trip. I felt he really crossed the line with his comment. It's one thing for him to make negging comments about me. He does that? And another to make them toward my baby. I've explained to him, I've told my daughter we are beautiful without makeup and only use it to occasionally feel fancy. And he's witnessed that interaction earlier in the weekend as we were getting ready. I mean, green flag for you, not for him. We had already planned to drive home separately and we did not have breakfast plans. So it's not like I left him hanging in limbo. We were 24 hours plus past the event and he still hasn't apologized, blaming me for leaving and overreacting due to my insecurities. So am I overreacting for being hurt by a joke and leaving? It's not a joke if you didn't find it funny. And it's not a funny joke. I'm sorry, but that's not funny. Why is he picking on like a little kid? He's like bullying her. No, you're not overreacting. Honestly, this is nuts. You also said that he negs you too. I hate negging. It never worked on me, ever. I ain't that kind of girl. Not overreacting and you're underreacting. It is not another thing for him to be making those comments at you. She's repeating his words to her, which means she hears what he says, including what he says to you. You're setting an example for what your daughter should expect from a partner one way or another. You need to make sure it is the right one. I would totally agree. It isn't normal for a partner to be like negging you. I personally believe negging is really manipulative and like hurtful. It's one thing if you kind of have a relationship where you sort of poke each other and stuff like that, but like I feel like calling people ugly and fat, that's just not funny. Those kinds of comments really, really shape you as a child, and it shapes what you're willing to accept from a partner in the future. Do you want your daughter to have a partner that says that kind of stuff to her and she's okay with it? I wouldn't. I don't love it. I don't love this relationship. I think that you are underreacting, and you got to think about the example that you're setting and stick up for your kids a little more. It's not a joke. It's not funny. And he's also not taking responsibility or apologizing, at least not at the time of this recording. So moving on, my boyfriend is mad at me because he opened up a relationship and got no dates. Am I the a-hole for how I responded? Me and my boyfriend, both 37, have been dating for just over 3 years. Prior to this, I was single for 8 years. Overall, it's been a healthy relationship. We are both independent with our jobs, living situations, etc. I do love spending time with him. I don't really have any complaints. However, something that startled me was back about 6 months ago. Him saying he wanted to open the relationship up, meaning going on dates and sleeping with other women. Okay. I've never been in a dynamic like this, so I naturally had a lot of questions. He told me I could also go on dates and sleep with other men. I honestly was a little skeptical at first, but after doing some research and having time to think, I agreed. He had told me that if at any point I wasn't comfortable, we could stop and close the relationship up again. One of the rules was we don't discuss with each other what we're doing or who we're going on dates with, etc. So I signed up for a dating app. Within a few days, I had 500 plus likes, and it's been pretty steady since.
Yes, queen, yes, queen, yes, queen.
So I start matching with people, texting and arranging dates. On average, I go on 1 or 2 dates a month. Period. There are also some people in similar dynamics of open relationships that I'm going on dates with and sleeping with regularly. I quite like the fact that everything is non-committal, so even though I was skeptical at first, I am enjoying the open relationship. As decided from before, I hadn't told my boyfriend about any of this. This is gonna go very well. I was at my boyfriend's house the other day and my phone was on the kitchen counter. He saw my notifications and proceeded to go through my phone and read messages, including going through the dating app and whatnot.
You're breaking the rules.
I feel like that's breaking a rule there, bestie. To say he was angry was an understatement. Turns out he opened the relationship up to take out a younger colleague at his workplace who misread his idea of a date as just a work lunch. How are you not embarrassed? Oh. He then openly told me that he wanted to see if it would work with her so he could ultimately leave me for her. Bold of him to say out loud. However, she didn't want him, and it seems like no one else did either. Yeah, it's really embarrassing. Honestly, I have the ick. In the last 6 months, he's had a few rough dates, but no one additional to sleep with. I feel somewhat embarrassed for him. I don't blame you. He demanded we instantly close the relationship up. hang on a second, because he was willing to literally leave for someone else, lied to you that it was because he wanted to, open the relationship up. But in actuality, he wanted an excuse to leave and have his cake and eat it too. I told him maybe we should just end things or take a break. He was outraged and called me names, but he was the one who wanted this dynamic, so what's the problem? I left. As I walked home, I contemplated fully breaking it off with him. He's been blowing up my phone and I'm not sure what to say. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not. I mean, you did what he wanted you to do. He really should have just broken up with you. I think this relationship is doomed, honestly. Like, I think that if given the chance, he would have left. So I wouldn't want to stay with someone like that. If this girl from work was interested in him, he would have left with you being under the impression that it was just an open relationship. Buddy is a liar and he's not a hot commodity. Let's see what the comments said. You should join the rest of the population in not dating him as well. OP responded, laugh my off. I fail to see why you're settling for this person. It sounds like you are a hot commodity, so why settle? Seriously though, all these other women went on dates and were like, ew, no. Listen to them, leave him. Maybe he can mature in the meantime. Oh my goodness. I'm just saying this for men who lack success with dating and open relationships or in general, that it's common and it doesn't mean that you're inherently crappy. But when you open up the relationship, you need to face the reality that unless you're fighting off women with a pitchfork already, your girl's gonna get giggitied 1,000 times more than you and have a blast while you get rejected over and over because that's life. Yeah, it's honestly a tale as old as time. Like, I've never heard of this going well. I've always heard of like the guy wanting to open it up and then he's allowed to do what he wants. But then when the girl does what she wants, he has a problem with it. Either that or nobody wants him. And then in that case, it's just like yucky. It's like, why are you lowering your standards? No one else is. OP's guy's behavior sucks though. I can feel his pain of making this realization while his own self-worth plummets through the floor. And unfortunately, he did not handle it well. A tantrum can be forgiven, maybe, but the amount of pain he's facing is extreme, even self-inflicted. Opening up the relationship so he can replace your current relationship and even saying that to your face. This guy has shown who he is and what he wants. And I don't see how this relationship is worthwhile or salvageable any longer. I'd save your time, thoughts, and energy for someone else, OP. Yeah, and it sounds like you got a lot of people to choose from. Like, granted, they're under the impression that you're looking for something like non-committal, but there's definitely interest there. He admitted he was stringing you along to see if this younger woman wanted him. If she had wanted him, he would have broken up with you for her, and you're asking if you're the a-hole. Lady, you are a moron if you stay. 100% agree.
100% agree.
So are you the a-hole? Nah, but you are if you stay with that guy.